Joe Rogan has weighed in on the transportation secretary's paternity leave. Yes, Pete Buttigieg and his partner have a new child. And so he has decided to take leave, but Rogan thinks that's unnecessary because Rogan knows better than anyone else how Buttigieg should parent. So let's watch.
Listen, man, I understand it's hard to raise a child, but isn't that supposed to be for the person who gave birth?
It's crazy. Yeah,
the men
you're
take
right.
paternity leave, but here's the thing. One of you should do that. One of you should take care of the children. Like this idea that both parents should get maternity and paternity leave at the same time is a little weird.
I don't think it's weird at all. When you have a new baby, whether you've given birth to that baby or not, it is an overwhelming experience. And I don't know, I kind of fall on the side of the boss isn't as important as your family is. Like really think about the core of that argument, right? Yeah. The core of the argument is you being by your boss's side and making profit for your boss is more important than being there in the first few weeks of your baby's life. I'd rather be with the baby. Whether I push that baby out of my vagina or not, I'd rather be with the baby. How about that?
I think that those weeks you could be spending with your boss are an important bonding time. I think that you'll grow closer to your boss. I think that that's important. So someday they're gonna be there, when you're walking down the aisle. No, the whole thing is ridiculous. And I'm glad that you focused on that. This morning on the pre-show, that's what I was talking about. Like this is what we were talking about with Fox before. This is a crossover between Rogan and Fox, and not just that, like, is his show just like 2 week later reruns of Tucker Carlson? Like Tucker Carlson was making these same points against Pete Buttigieg literally weeks ago. I thought Joe Rogan was doing like totally independent stuff. He has the exact same positions as Tucker Carlson. But yeah, it's a wonderful confluence of the disarming your audience from ever considering their economic situation or believing that things can get better, combined with the brittle masculinity that guys like Joe Rogan love to push. The idea that masculinity is always being very scared of somebody thinking you're doing something weird. Why are you doing that thing? You don't want to do that thing. Someone might question you. Why are you trying to bond with a kid? That's mom stuff. You shouldn't be worried about that. Since when has that become the idea of what fatherhood is? Aren't you supposed to be around to help guide your son or your daughter into being a upstanding? It's just such nonsense.
Only when you want to comment on black fathers.
Sure,
That's the only time.
Which isn't a point that he's making right here, but you're totally right about Fox.
But okay, so but just take a step back. I don't know what Rogan has said about black fathers, but conservatives generally speaking.
Sure, that was O'Reilly for years.
Love to comment on where are the black fathers?
Yeah.
Where are the black fathers?
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe we have an unjust justice system that disproportionately targets and imprisons black fathers. That's a huge part of it that they love to leave out of the equation. But I just love how they use these talking points whenever it's convenient for them. But when it comes to having a system in place that is far more friendly to families, so both mothers and fathers can spend a few months with their newborn without worrying about losing their job or their livelihood. We can't have it. No. We just can't have it.
It's a coincidence, Anna. It's just a coincidence that the talking points tend to help corporations. It just happens to work out that way. And they're getting you to opt out. You should be ashamed of believing that your working conditions should improve. You should not fight for this. It's not a choice thing, by the way. It's not, some men want to do it and others don't. It's wrong of you to believe that you should spend that time with your family. And so weird that they're talking points. And by the way, I saw someone on the supposed left also attacking Pete Buttigieg. Maybe they just really don't like Pete Buttigieg, so all thoughts of ideological consistency fly out of their head. But when you say it's wrong to take maternity or paternity leave, that you should not spend 1 second not under the thumb of your employer, that is obviously a pro-corporate talking point. That's what you're seeing here.
100%, absolutely. And look, it's not just Rogan. There have been others, like the Steven Crowders and other right wingers who have been attacking Pete Buttigieg specifically for taking paid paternity leave. And I don't think it's shocking that that he's gay and that all of this like ire is directed toward him for doing this. But they have a new child, and that is an overwhelming thing to go through. And by the way, if we're talking about heterosexual couples, right? The experience of giving birth is incredibly hard, incredibly overwhelming for the mother. We know that, okay? You have a C-section, they're literally cutting your abdomen open and removing the baby.
And get back to work on Monday.
Breastfeeding is incredibly difficult and painful. You gotta get up every 3 hours to feed the baby. And so, I don't know, maybe having that support, having that partner is incredibly important, right? So you can maybe switch with the 3-hour feeding schedule. So maybe if you're in tremendous pain as the woman who's just given birth, the father or even the mother, right? If we're talking about a lesbian couple, can step in and help you out. I don't know why this is even a controversial issue. It's not a controversial issue for the vast majority of countries.
Yeah.
So the most generous countries for paid leave for fathers are Japan, South Korea, and Portugal, according to the 2019 UNICEF report. The least is the United States, of course, the only country analyzed not to offer any kind of paid leave to mothers or fathers. And let's take a look at this list of paid leave for fathers around the world. In Japan, 52 weeks of paid leave.
Wow.
South Korea, 53 weeks. Spain, 12 weeks. Sweden, 14 weeks. Iceland, 13 weeks. Canada, 5 to 8 weeks. Mexico, even Mexico's got a week. Australia, 2 weeks. United Kingdom, 2 weeks. United States, 0. But we're the best. We're the best because we force the family to stay at work even after they've had a new baby. Okay, great.
That's betas. That's all beta stuff. A true man abandons his family when they need him most and bows down to his employer. That is what a true alpha male does.
One more clip from Rogan. I have no idea what he's gonna say in this next one, so let's watch.
Who do you believe should pay for something like that?
I don't know, but if I was an employer, and I had a guy who worked for me. I had a guy who worked for me who wanted to take 3 months off because his wife gave birth. I'd be like, "What are you talking about, Mike?"
Even to support his wife?
Give birth? To support his wife while I pay him for free. Do you understand that this is kind of, most people, when this happens, if they make enough money, the wife will not work and the father will work.
Right.
And then the wife takes care of the child. And this is normal.
Yeah.
And then the dad provides support when he comes home. If you're saying that the man and the woman should both get like 3 months off, this is a new thing.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, it's not new in Europe, but
we're not in Europe. This is better. This is America.
He said men take paternity leave?
There are 2 classes in America. There's the capitalist class, there's the worker class. Rogan, I mean, he's talking about it in his context. He doesn't want to have to pay a worker to spend time with his family. That's it. Again, incentives, disincentives. For him, it's about his bottom line. That's all it is. It's not.
Well, he was honest.
Yeah, I mean,
he was honest.
Great.
I mean, how many employees?
That's how the system works. To be fair.
I honestly don't know how many employees he has. I'm going to guess that it is small enough that whichever employee he's referencing there, he's probably known for a while. But don't let that make you believe, dear employee, that you're a human to him. No, you're a cog in the machine. How dare you ask to be paid if I take you out for a few months and put a different cog in there temporarily? This is a guy, like, what was his Spotify deal? Like $100 million? It
was a lot.
Just to switch over. That's not his pay. That was a bonus for switching over. He just is gonna keep doing the same show he was ever doing. He just talks, he smokes weed, he talks. He got $100 million, but you want like free unearned money? You want more than you deserve to be paid? Why are working class people listening to more rich a-holes tell them that they should never have a better life? Our world is full of these people. You listen to him, you listen to Elon Musk.
Yeah.
Stop listening to rich a-holes who don't care about you. It's simple. It's simple. You wouldn't do, like if it was Leon Cooperman, you wouldn't take economic policy advice from him. You'd look at him and you'd think, wait, I think he's pursuing his own economic interests. But for some reason, like if Leon Cooperman shaved his head and like rolled a joint, would you suddenly think, this is compelling advice? I should base my future on this.
It depends though. Is he gonna talk about jujitsu?
That might be cool. I don't know. I do actually like jujitsu quite a bit. But anyway, it's just like, yeah, if you think it's entertaining or whatever, do not base your politics on what a rich guy who has nothing financially in common with you says should be the case.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks. Really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.